Hi, I'm Tiffany Coral. This is for ED 851 Module 8, a teacher evaluation analysis. The purpose of the new evaluation system is to improve teacher knowledge, their skill, and their classroom practice. That involves having some sort of steps, stages, or plans to allow for that growth and development. It also helps to facilitate effective teaching practices through professional development. The purpose of the evaluation tool is to not categorize teachers into bad, good, and great. There are six key principles behind reforming and developing the new teacher evaluation assessment or evaluation tool. One is to facilitate a safe and open collaboration between a mentor teacher, a supervisor, or administrator. This should be in a non-threatening environment where both parties feel comfortable. The second thing is to allow for multiple ratings, so a teacher's not being scored on one particular thing. For instance, 100% of the evaluation is not based on standardized testing. There should be multiple ratings, and they should have clear ability to tell what their score is and why they received that score. It should also be integrated, involving the standards or curriculum that the school district offers, as well as offering professional development to grow areas that they see they need to improve upon. The evaluation system should also validate evaluation measures. That again is multiple methods to do so. It should allow for teacher input. It should not just be the mentor, administrator, or supervisor performing the evaluation. The teacher should be able to give reflection to allow for their growth to take place. The student's performance and learning outcomes are part of that teacher's input. That may involve portfolios or artifacts that come from the classroom. And it should also be jointly created. This includes the teacher in the process, along with school board members or other local affiliates. The new system is typically broken down into 3 stages. The framework for teaching model, this is by Charlotte Danielson. She has many different categories and domains that she breaks actual teaching in the classroom down into. The value added model, which is a percentage math calculation based on what a year's growth should look like in each student, as well as other district added components. This may include a SLL, which is what our school district uses, which is a student learning objective. The multiple measures for teaching evaluation, some typical ones that were discussed were classroom observation, as well as student growth testing. This can be done at our school. It's through a Ames web online-based system that's done every quarter. It also needs to be teacher-centered, so that might include something that the teacher does in the classroom, again, artifacts, portfolios, self-assessments by the students. And lastly, one that is new to me is surveys. So that involves parents or students filling out surveys based on the teacher's performance. What makes an effective teacher? This was talked about by several different associations or programs. The one I chose to use is by the National Center for Teacher Quality. That included having high expectations for all of your students. That could be calculated through the value added model. This involves positive academic and social outcomes. That includes students' attendance, their self-efficacy, and behavior. Measuring student progress. That includes having adaptations when necessary for students with 504 plans or IEPs. Valuing the diversity of your students. All your students are not coming to school with the same background, so you need to take that into consideration when instructing your class, which kind of goes back to having adaptations as well. And collaboration, so that is between teachers, administrators, and other students in your classroom. The largest issues that we are facing with the teacher evaluation system is basically teachers feel that they are being compared based on their performance, good, bad, great. But the purpose of it is to eliminate the bad teachers faster so they are not staying and instructing our students in the classroom. It allows you to also see strengths versus weaknesses to allow for professional development and growth to occur, and also making connections with the evaluation system. Maybe compensation or promotions are correlated with your evaluation yearly. The teachers union response, the teachers union in Pennsylvania is called the Pennsylvania State Education Association. They feel that connecting the evaluation to pay and tenure is wrong. They also do not like the value-added method. They feel that there's a lot of error. The validity of it is not always positive, and it also doesn't take into account student special needs and their background. So, what they're coming home from, their socioeconomic status, etc. And they also question how are teachers in non-tested grade levels or subject areas, how is their evaluation calculated? In Chestnut Ridge School District is where I currently work. Our evaluation system is broken down into 4 categories. 20% of our evaluation is based on our SOLOs, that's our student learning objectives. That's whatever objective we make for the year, and if we reach that, for example, mine involves fact fluency this year with my students. 15% is based on building score, so that's the overall score of your entire building. That's based on standardized testing. And 50% is classroom observation. So that is when your mentor, administrator, or supervisor comes into your room and you go through your classroom teaching, you do your reflection, you have an open assessment at the end. And lastly, 15% is teacher specific. So that's your own specific standardized testing data. Some recourse from the teacher evaluation system. If you feel that your evaluation was not accurate, you need to basically find out if it was done fair, ethically, and legally. You have to have evidence to support your backing that your score or your assessment was not done properly. You need to also find out if your evaluation followed board and state policies. That's the biggest one. If one of those things are not clear to you, you can file suit against your district and also gain support of your teacher union. But if, again, if it was done fair, ethically, and legally, and you have no evidence and they followed board and state policies, then there's really nothing you can do about your evaluation. A lawsuit that I found that was interesting was district versus teacher was Ramirez versus the Board of Education of Township of Orange. Ramirez, she was a second-year teacher, I believe, so she did not have tenure, so she was on a year-to-year basis contract, and she went for maternity leave. When trying to return, she was not given another year contract, so she felt that she was being let go unfairly. She actually lost that lawsuit. The district won because they showed evidence that she was performing substandard teacher work before actually leaving for maternity leave. They also said that she was on a professional improvement plan and she did not receive a salary increase. Based on all of that, she was fairly let go. My final reflections, basically as a school administrator, to stay up to date on the latest evaluation research, making sure it's clear to my staff so they feel comfortable with the current evaluation system and understand all the processes and stages that we are using. Also, staying in contact with the Pennsylvania Department of Education because every state's evaluation system looks a little bit differently, as well as every school district's. And lastly, promoting a positive culture surrounding our evaluation system. I think some teachers, especially new teachers, they can see the evaluation system as daunting, but making sure that they're comfortable with it and they see that it's for positive growth, that they can take the evaluation system with stride. Thank you.